welcome. There's trees doing, there's walls doing, it's blowing a hula hoop there, as I'm sure you all know. Sunday. DM me if you understood any of that. I have, of late, been doing a bit of work because my album came out a couple of Fridays ago. Sensational, to great fanfare, and I was away for a week doing some gigs in record stores up and down the country, which was absolutely wonderful. It's really good to begin and to play. The people that run independent record shops, they really are the salt of the earth. I met some ace people, and I can't do enough for you, man. It's been really, really good. You know what I do: Banquet Records, Kingston, up on Thames, Jacaranda in Liverpool, 6 o'clock in Liverpool on a Friday night. I don't know if you ever find yourself round about centre of Liverpool, Friday night, 6 o'clock. Wonderful. Fucking bedlam. Piccadilly Records, Manchester, Oldham Street, across the road from where I used to work. Clute's first singles were put on sale in Piccadilly, and Laura, who owns the place, runs the place, done so much for so many bands starting out. I remember when we went in and asked if we'd sold any, we'd sold 100 over the weekend, and 7-inch singles in paper bags. Felt like $1 million. Where else did I go? Crash Records in Leeds. 40 years anniversary this year coming up. They're going to have loads of gigs in Leeds and celebrate the anniversary of Crash Records. What a wonderful bunch of folk. Wax and Beans in Bury, like the centre of the community, you know. Coffee shop, record shop, food, lovely people. Got apartments upstairs where you can stay if you're doing a gig. They know what they're doing. Yeah, wonderful. Guitar in the back of the car, electric piano, and off I went. I love nothing more than just driving away on my own with a gig at the other end. It makes for much thought. A lot of my notions, a lot of my writing comes from that manner of living. I used to be a delivery driver, and I was up and down the road from all around Carlisle, from Newcastle down Carlisle all the way up to Lockerbie and then back over. So much time. I was just thinking. So much time to listen to music, so much time to think, and so much time to come up with lyrics and ideas. Something about driving, it's kind of hypnotic. You get space for things to come in. I find that's how it is with me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I've got a tour booked, and it's on sale for February next year. There will be Manchester shows. There's been some people in touch saying, you know, what about Manchester? Yeah, there's no tour without Manchester. It's my spiritual home. I lived there for 25 years. I'm going to be playing in Manchester. Absolutement. And I'll be in Holland and Belgium too. And they'll be on sale soon as well. I picked up this particular accoutrement that I'm wearing on my face which is something that I picked up at a party recently. And my policy was always I never ever wear glasses unless I'm in another country. I've often wondered why that is, but I used to go out with a girl, and her mum used to say to me, "Take your sunglasses off. I can't see your eyes. I'm not talking to you." It kind of stuck with me, that. But I've got these, and there's a couple of reasons for that. A friend of mine, Andy Hargreaves, who was an extraordinary drummer, who ever lived, used to play with Clute, and he got in touch with me recently. He's like, "Pete, you've got to do something." He says, "This stuff you're doing on the internet, talking to people, it's really interesting, it's really good. I think people are going to dig it, but there's a problem with your face, and you've got to do something about it." So this is what I've done. And also, I think having something in the middle there just to break up the whole, forehead thing. It's like, there's quite a lot of it now. I'm starting to resemble Reardon, a lot more than I used to. And I might be even giving Richard E. Grant a run for his money. So I've stuck something in the middle, so you can kind of level things up a bit. So what I've been doing over the course of a few months, along with everything else, and I've been busy, I've been grooming some musicians to come and play with me in February, because up till now it's just been me. I've been playing the guitar and singing, or playing the piano and singing. But I've done an album, and it's got a lot of different instruments on it and stuff and arrangements, so I'm going to do it with more musicians. And so I've been casting the net, and luckily I didn't have to cast it too far, because I'm kind of lucky that where I live, all my neighbours appear to be musicians and of some repute. There's a chap called Steve Jones. That's a name. I know it's a rock and roll name, and he's a guitar player too. He plays with now let's see, David Holmes. He plays with Brian Ferry. Brian Ferry makes him play guitar solos, but he doesn't like to play them. He's a bit like, Guitar George. He doesn't like to make it cry or sing, he just plays rhythm. But Brian Ferry makes him play guitar solos. He's the only one that does. Yeah, Steve was away recently. He was in Italy doing a gig. They had a week of rehearsals with a gig at the end of it. He was doing it with Tim Robbins, the great actor, So he's an accomplished musician and incredibly talented and a lovely man. And he's tasty on his instrument. He's going to be playing the bass, but he also sings beautifully. He's one of these people who can just stack up vocal harmonies, which I'm in awe of people who can do that, because I just can't. I really can't. And another chap who lives very close by, a chap you might have heard of, called Max Pope. And Max is an artist in his own right. He's had an album out, I don't know, I think it was about a year and a half ago, and I did a bit of work with Max on that. He's got the voice of an angel, and he plays a guitar most tastefully, but he can also turn it on like Jimi Hendrix. He really is something else. And I'm really looking forward to playing with these chaps. And what I'm going to do is, I saw Bob Dylan at the Palladium a few Octobers ago, and he was playing what I think maybe one of his best albums, his most recent, Rough and Rowdy Ways. He played it in its entirety, and he had a band with him, And you know, I don't know if you've seen Dylan. I never seen him before, but I hear stories of, like, sometimes it's you cannot really decipher what song it is, even though it's a famous song of his, because he plays them so differently. I mean, he just lives on the road. He lives on his bus, I think. But his band was so good, and it was so fluid, and it oozed in and out of tempo, and the dynamics were from absolutely nothing. You could hear a pin drop, to right at the end of the gig, he started playing his harmonica, and everybody just got to their feet. I mean, they just couldn't believe it, you know. And hats off to the sound engineer. I mean, they did it like it's a recording. When he started playing the harmonica, it just took your face off. It's just incredible. But he made a virtue of it being human, and it being imperfect, and being full of feel and nuance and character, and it was just delicious. And I just thought, this is what live music is. Well, this is what it is to me, you know. God, I'll never go on stage with a computer, never. Strike me down if I ever take the stage with a computer. So I want it to be warts and all, and that's what we're getting into now. We're going to start rehearsing, just build it around the sort of freeness of what I did, which was completely untempoed because it was just me, but keep it as sort of free as that. And I learned a lot from playing with Nadine Shah. I played the bass with Nadine, and I was stood behind her, and she moved in and out of time, like I think all great musicians and great songs and great performances that they do. And the way I knew when to come in after would it be a rest or a pause or whatever it was, or holding a long note, whatever it was the way I knew that Nadine was going to come in was I would look at her heels. She always wore, and still does, great shoes with high heels, and when the heel went down, that was the one beat. That's when you came back in. I also was given some very good advice from somebody who knew Nadine's stuff extremely well, which was have her vocal turned up very loud in your monitor, because just as her heel's going down, she takes an intake of breath. A wonderful thing to hear on a recording or a live gig. It's that before she sings. And so with the intake of breath and the heel going down, it was right. You fell into where it was coming back in. That's just wonderful, waiting for that moment. So I'm going to do a bit of that. I've not really had the crack much on a Sunday because I've been out and about doing stuff, but I'm going to regularly keep it up, you know. I say thanks to everybody who come and saw us when I was playing the record stores, and I hope to see you at these gigs that I'm doing in February. I'm really looking forward to rehearsing this up and seeing what comes. It'll be different to the record, but it'll be it'll communicate what needs to be communicated, because I know exactly what that is. What it's going to sound like, I'm not entirely sure. But I'll put my line in the sand now, or I'll throw down the gauntlet to myself. I'm going to be doing Kester, which is 11 and a half minutes long of spoken word. And I'm thinking, God, how am I going to do that? I think it's going to be somewhere between improvising, remembering. I have to maybe write down some of these words on a big sheet, you know, like like the Bob Dylan famous video, you know. But I'm going to be doing that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out, particularly. But it's got to be done, and otherwise the gigs are going to be pretty short. I've got a load of songs written as well, which will be next album, you know. But I'm gonna do some of them as well. Always good to gig things to see how they go down, you know. You can tailor things after gigs, see what the response is, as you get it right in the recording. It's what Clute always did with our first album. We played and played and played them songs, and then we recorded them. And that first Clute album, Natural History, was really like a live gig, but recorded, sort of hi-fi. It was lo-fi. But the touring and the gigs really informed what the songs were, so that was a process that I really loved. As opposed to, you know, you record something and you gig it and you change it a bit and then you go back and you say, hey, maybe I should have done it like that. So I gig it first and then record it. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll bid you a pleasant Sunday, and I will look forward to seeing you in February, if not before.